morning. I'm going to present the work we have done so far on the vulnerable marine ecosystem in the production of the fact sheets, its workflow, and how iMarine was the solution for that. Some background. Fishing activities are pushing far in the high seas and in the great depths, and it's utmost priority to know the impact of the bottom contact gears on the deep seas. The UNGA, United Nations General Assembly, adopted several resolutions inspiring and pushing and stimulating FAO to coordinate the development of international guidelines for the management of deep-sea fisheries on the high seas. And since 2006, RFMO and arrangements developed measures to protect benthic VMEs and coral and sponge communities. And all these measures and the related materials generated a large amount of dispersed and difficult to access information, which now the VME database is aiming to offer a unique entry point to glance all this amount of documents for further increase the sustainability and ultimately reducing the impacts. Finally, the VME database is also aiming to facilitate a partnership and creating networks among community of users, information contributors, and those working on the protection of VMEs in the high seas. And in this regard, iMarine is foreseen as well as playing a leading role. Basically, in 2 words, the VME database is made of 2 major components, maps and fact sheets. Users can access a global world map with a number of VMEs areas and access for each of these areas more content and detailed information. I made just 2-minute video, which may help. If I know how to use Mac. È sparito. Clicca qua per favore, se devo. Ok. Yes, ok. And metti full screen, visualizza full schermo interno. Basta schermo interno. Okay. So, this is an animation, 2 minutes animation showing that as a normal map interface you can zoom, activate layers like the VME areas or the footprints. You can, footprints are in green, you can then change projection for instance in South Polar or other type of projection. There is a legend with a number of layers, different type of VME areas, or let's say protected or closed areas. Layers can be activated or switch on or off, like the EZ, as you can see here in this example. And then you may want to reset to the default view and explore one of the VMEs. Click on one of the polygon, and where you have some basic information, who is the data provider, when the measure has been firstly applied, with the type of areas. And then you can access the fact sheet by clicking on that icon. The fact sheet, the content is basically arranged into tabs. And we have descriptions, maps, management. In the management, there are specific measures with always with its source of information, and general measures referenced as well. And then there are other tabs like the regional overview, so historical background on the areas, and reports, archive reports relevant to this VME with the citation. And at the bottom, you have the box of the data provider, who is always advertised, and some fact sheet facilities such as print, PDF, and citations. Going back to the main screen and the map, you can also make searches. For instance, let me see all the VME NAFO in the NAFO area. And these are the results. On the left is the zooming on the areas, and on the right the list of the VMEs. Then you can have some details. Or, for instance, I can make a simple search. Let's see, for instance, Lophelia, a typical cold water coral. And by searching it, I got a number of results, and I click on one of each. And I realized that this Lophelia is an encounter species, for instance, in the Malahit Biotsi Mountain, the CFO area. So this is just a short animation to give a glance view on the. So no, well, maybe here. Okay. Yes. So now we have a problem. The problem is that the application is nearly ready. We are in the process of data collecting and validation. So it's matter to make all this work to go in production to make it sustainable. Mainly sustainability in this regard, dealing with the delegation of authority and distributing the efforts. And so we were needing a content management system to handle the VME data in a given data structure, in a specific workflow, with a limited funds availability. This is very common. The solution, the iMarine Reports Manager, which is offering a flexible CMS for reading content in whatever database schema. And this is very important because we used to as you know, as a data provider or data consumer, you know that data structure changes across time. So we need such a flexibility. We need also a user-friendly interface, role-based workflow, because submission and approval of data requires a number of steps and clearance for getting accessible to the public. Real-time integration, and finally, a short development. Indeed, in 3 months, this product was achieved. In fact, it was delivered on time and within a budget. And basically, how it works, the report manager, which is part of the Connect Cube, one of the 4 main clusters of services offered by the marine infrastructure. The Vulnerable Marine Ecosystem Database is made of various teams working together. Let's say the core team is in the Fijis within the Fish and Aquaculture Department of FAO. And this database is relating with the fact sheet editing within the iMarine platform. To the user access through a secure connection, the iMarine platform, editing the content and return the content updated, return to the Fijis database, which then is exposed through a normal HTTP to the web, to the general public. And here I made, for your joy, another video. If you start, yes. This is very short as well. Oh, yes, this is okay. So I access the iMarine gateway. According to user authorization, you can access different VREs. I access the VME-DB VRE and the report manager, where here I can edit, create, or delete VME. Let me edit one VME. A pop-up will give me all the list of available VME arranged by owners with the numbers of it. For instance, NAFON, there is a number of lists. There are 18. Or I can quickly search, for instance, FOGO, and I got 2 results. I click on one on each, and I can edit. Editing fields are according to the database scheme, so it can be full text or can be controlled terms, for instance, a radio button or checkboxes. Content is also similar to fact sheets arranged in different sections. In this case, I want to add a new section for a different time. In 2014, I just added some physical description. Then I check section 3 or 4 or whatever, and I can save it within the iMarine workspace, in my dedicated workspace. I save it because I have no much time, and so I just save it, and with whatever file name I like it, and I save it for later. This is let's say, the peculiarity of the VRE and the workspace offered by the iMarine platform. So I close the report, and let's imagine that the day after, I reopen it again, and I keep going editing. So I open again the file. I see, and maybe I change the in section to another piece of text, just put some editing. And finally, I decide that the document is ready, and so I can commit into the database. And once committing, these data are going to the features database, and the fact sheets are automatically updated. So I finished my work, and I log out to the iMarine and quit and will join later whenever I need. Now, I close this one, go back here. So, 2 more slides. It has been mentioned the issues of data access and sharing policies, which are the terms of use applied to this particular VRE, to this particular, let's say, development. The report manager application is instantiated in a dedicated VRE for the VME database. So we have a VRE for us, let's say. This is a private VRE with the restricted access to selected users. And this agreement is foreseen in the iMarine terms of use, in the draft documents we are preparing. And the VRE in iMarine is not exposing data directly to the public, nor sharing with other VREs. Hence, for the time being, no specific license is required. So, as I was showing you, the users access through a secure connection the iMarine environment, make its own work, and commit into the database info, and all data are protected. Indeed, iMarine is aimed to offer other services. Well, the very important one is the collaborative workspace, as for instance, saving temporarily the work I'm doing on a particular record, but also for storing whatever other type of documents and material you may have, which you can share with your colleagues entitled to access that VRE. And furthermore, the community can take advantage, as it was clearly explained so far, to the infrastructure to access biodiversity, environmental, and fisheries data from other VREs. So this is, let's say, the overall picture of what we expect to exploit iMarine for the VME database. Obviously, I made videos, but we can perform live applications since everything is up and running and fully operational. I finished.